And great hand control by Thomas. You can see him holding the one arm away, and Nutre will drive him out of bounds again. That'll start to catch the eye of the officials. There's absolutely no pinning combination and no threat of any kind of back points here. This is strictly just riding him and taking him out of bounds, and wrestling is to work for the fall.
Riding time down to 25-second advantage. 2 seconds, 1 second, nothing doing there. We take a quick timeout. We've had the first period in the 118s, and it's Nutre up 3-2.
And this is where Kolat is so tough. He's got the head, the chin. He's fighting to put St. John on his back, and St. John able to counter. And he's going to get the 1 point for escape. But I'll tell you, that at the hair on the back of your neck up, Kolat was going head hunting, looking for back points.
2-1. St. John complaining about that headlock.
And Kolat finally scores from his feet. Nice takedown. High crouch, switched to a double, drove through his opponent, knocked him down. Extends his lead now to 4-1. And these uniforms look a lot alike. Kolat's wearing the green ankle band. Arizona State, St. John, the red ankle band. And if you're in black and white, it's Kolat in the light headgear, St. John in the dark headgear.
St. John roughed up a little bit. Here is another look at that takedown.
Kolat drops under, seizes that single leg head on the outside, counters to the double, drives his opponent to the mat. Beautiful takedown.
Minute 27 left to go here in this third and final period. Kolat up 4-1 at the moment.
Escape by St. John now 4-2. This is where Kolat wants to be. Now let's see if St. John can hit that duck under. They'll try to do it under Kolat's left arm.
In the earlier matches, the first wrestler to get a takedown at 118 and 126 ended up the winner. That bodes well for Kolat, not so well for St. John.
Takedown here would just knot it all up. By St. John, of course.
50 seconds.
And this is where you play that mental game. Do I want to stay aggressive and possibly make a mistake, or do I sit on my lead? And they just gave Kolat another point. St. John, no offense on the feet. Referee Donald Henry assessing the 1 point penalty. Kolat now leads 5-2.
And riding time will not be a factor. Kolat just has to waltz this one out. St. John desperately has to make something happen.
Nice single leg by St. John and on the ankle of Kolat. Ooh, good Lord. That knee looked a little bent in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Kolat's fine, though. The referee, that signal potentially dangerous. The safety of the athletes, the #1 priority. Cary Kolat distancing himself now 5-2, winning the national title, looking good.
You feel no pain, no matter what that knee is like, when you win the national championship. 134 goes to Kolat. His freshman year, he was second. His sophomore year, he was third. Three-time All-American as a junior. He is the man.
Nice shot, Michael.
Coming up in just a little bit, the 142. We've got the 1 and the 3. Zadick and Hughes. It should be a classic. Don't go anywhere. Sears Directors Cup points. The Sears Director Cup is the first ever cross-sectional all-sports national recognition award for both men and women in the NCAA Divisions 1, 2, 3, and the NAIA. Champion is determined by awarding points based on each school's finish in the postseason for 22 sports. The winning school receives the Sears Directors Cup trophy designed by Waterford Crystal, and scholarships are awarded to students who work in athletic departments. You saw UCLA was up there, so was Penn State, and they're going to move up even higher with what they've done. Lots of great names, traditional programs in all kinds of sports. A real tribute to the Rector's Cup to all of college athletics.
I think that's good because it puts emphasis on all the sports that a university fields, and that will definitely help out everyone in terms of recognition and support. Team standings now. Iowa still has clinched it. Iowa State has clinched second. The only race left now is for third. Cal State Bakersfield with 66 points, and Penn State on Abe's win there has now narrowed that gap. They're in fourth place with 65. And if they win with John Hughes, that will lock up. Well, it will put them into third place with the chance Iowa State has another finalist. And there, Coach Gable sending out Zadick.
Let's meet Bill Zadick, the #1 seed, all set to go. You saw his, I guess, pre-fight tradition. Dan Gable, the legend. What can you say? 14 team championships now here at Iowa, national titles.
And he went through the perfunctionary wearing the suit coat up until the match starts, and right back down to the shirt so he can get into the match with his athlete. Quite often, the body English of Dan Gable is a show in itself.
His record against Zadick, 2-0. So that gives the 3-seed hope, but Zadick has been very strong in this tournament thus far.
Hughes, defending national champion here. Penn State would like him to win. It would put him into the top 3. It would put him in the lead over Iowa State as the third place finisher right now. But Iowa State still has an athlete competing at 150, Chris Bono. But Hughes would like to be a two-timer here.
Zadick has outscored his first 4 opponents in this tournament, 59-26. Biggest influence was Dan Gable, no surprise there. Constant attack, always on the offensive set. He just likes to score. But Penn State doing a little riding here with Hughes.
Hughes is extended here, flat on his belly, his arms out in front. Hughes trying to spin around behind. Zadick hanging on. And Zadick now able to get to his base. He can now even start a little offense from here, but they go out of bounds.
When things were looking bleak for Iowa yesterday, Zadick talked with Dan Gable, and he came to life.
I try not to let that kind of stuff affect me. If something bad happens, it comes in front of me. But, if something great happens, I try and use it as motivation. But at the same time, I got to separate myself enough to where if something bad happens, I can't let it affect me. And I try and use it as positive motivation. So,
nothing yet. In terms of a takedown, action here heavy. Zadick in on a leg, looking for points. He's got a double. That should do it. That should do it. There it is.
There it is.
2-0. And John Hughes told us this morning he thought the person that would get the first takedown would win. Keep it down! Keep it down, Ryder!
We'll see if he can live up to it.
Zadick taking down the defending national champion. He leads now 2-1 with Hughes getting that escape.
Dan Gable, like Michael Jordan, has that tongue halfway out. Is that like almost lighting the cigar for the victory? Still too early. 32 seconds left in the first period. 2-1.
Zadick continuing to be offensive. Hughes really hasn't taken a shot yet. Playing the counter game, has a front headlock. Let's see if he'll drag Zadick down to the ground.
That's a stalemate. You see the time left in the period?
It was under 10 seconds. I don't think either athlete here is going to try a shot. There's just really not enough time to finish it. That'll end the first period.
2-1. Zadick, the #1 seed. Hughes, the defending champion, but third seeded here. It's too close to call.
Trails now 3-1. Zadick getting that escape point. And let's see if Zadick here will continue the offense on his feet. He's been shooting on Hughes. Hughes really has not opened up on offense yet.
Again, Hughes was a winner over Zadick twice. Once this year at a duel. 5-2 was the score there.
Center in here.
Hughes trying to join Abe as national champion for Penn State. Zadick really led the comeback yesterday in the semifinals when Iowa, having already lost Jeff McGinnis, the defending national champion, in the second round, lost Mike Mena and Mark Ironside, both number 1 seed in the semis, and it was Zadick that turned it around. He said, hey, they needed leadership. I put it out of my mind. I just went out there and wrestled my kind of match.
They looked for a moment like Hughes might get an advantage, but that strong arm of Zadick said no. 51 and counting down in period 2. 3-1, Zadick.
Just looking at these two athletes, you almost always notice that Hughes' hips are higher than Zadick's. And that makes it very difficult for Hughes to drop under that center of gravity. And it makes a more inviting target for Zadick since the hips aren't as low. There's more room for him to get underneath his opponent.
Zadick from Great Falls, Montana.
And Hughes in now. Whoa, Zadick doing a nice job of countering. Hughes had an opportunity, his first of the match. Grabbed the single of Zadick there. And now Zadick, a bad shot there, head in the middle double. It's hard to move up there when your head's trapped under your opponent's chest, drives him out of bounds. And they'll return to the center. Just 2 seconds left now in the second period.
John Fritz, Penn State coach, already has one champion matched in his belt. Gable, who's seen so many champions come and go, gives some last-minute instructions to Zadick as we get ready for the third period with the Hughes down on the mat. 4-1, Zadick on top in the match and on top to start the third period.
Looking to ride Hughes here, try to maybe build up some riding time. Can't get caught there hanging on behind. He'd like to save the stall warning, that freebie.
Hughes, by the way, look at the Penn State fans. That's his mom. Dad wrestled and played baseball in the Yankees organization. John and Fana on hand. Hughes, the number 4 all-time winner at Penn State.
His dad was a Bronx Bomber. He's a Pennsylvania Panther. Let's score!
And now he's trying to figure out how to get to the legs of the Hawkeye. Both seniors, both 22 years of age. 1:25 left in this one. 4-2. Zadick.
It seems now Hughes is a little bit more focused on offense. He's now driving into Zadick. Starting to come back. Maybe his ploy was just try to fatigue Zadick a little bit, but with just 1 minute, 10 seconds left now, he's really kind of put himself in a corner where he needs a takedown just to tie.
Riding time won't be a factor. Hughes hasn't given up more than 4 points in this tourney. In danger here of losing that record.
Needs more offense. He's really got to get under Zadick or counter him right here. Not wait and work the hold.
Zadick was the aggressor. Out of bounds they go with 42 seconds left to go. And it's still Bill Zadick 4 and John Hughes 2. You're all set. How dangerous when you back away like that without hearing the whistle. To be yelling time out or something and, point to it so the officials see it right away. 29 seconds left. Santa's concerned. Ken Merritt, your official on the mat. The referee text to Daryl, circling the outside. Use your assistant.
20 seconds left, and Iowa would get their first national championship title individually for this year.
And that underhook's going to hurt Hughes. That lets Zadick tie him up now. No space. It's very difficult here to take any shot because your bodies are together. He breaks the hold, but now we're down to 5 seconds with Zadick's back near the out of bounds. Oh, and Hughes is just going to give it up.
Let's go!
Hughes is just going to give it up.
Wow! Gable can't believe it. Neither can a bunch of the fans, but he's happy as Iowa wins the 142 national championship. Bill Zadick Fifth last year, the champ in 96. And John Hughes, the defending champion, will just have to remember last year.
And those words that he said during the interview, the one that got the first takedown would win, and Zadick got the first and only takedown, and those words rung true.
He was a prophet, but not in the way that he had expected or hoped. There's Zadick, an art major. He becomes Gable's 38th NCAA champion in 20 years at Iowa. That is amazing. Coming up next at 150, Charlie Becks and Chris Bono. That's 2 versus 4. Stick around.
Discount Tire Center.
What, you take a look at Chris Bono. You're looking at some guns for arms there. They look like pythons coming out of his shoulder.
Hey, you realize what Bono did with those guns? Becks had not been taken down yet in this tournament, yet 10 seconds into that first period, down he went.
Hey, if those arms get a hold of your legs, usually they're going to succeed in pulling them in if he's in decent position. Even if he's not in such good position.
Bono of Ponte Vedra, Florida, trying to be the first Florida native ever to win an NCAA title. We had one earlier versus Delaware native of Clarion that was able to pull that off. Tonight up first.
Let's see how Becks is going to get back in this match. He got caught quickly there with that first early takedown. See if he can't rally himself here and get a takedown of his own, put himself ahead in this match, and really in a position to where he can control the pace and have Bono come after him.
The two have split over the years. 1-1. There you see 4-2 now for Bono. Bono was a winner this year in the one match that they had against each other.
That was a great takedown. Bono never really gave up on that. He brought Becks down twice with those front headlocks and then started that spin motion, and he just kept doing the spin, then jammed him and was able to collapse Becks' hip, get that takedown. He's ahead 4-2, and he's got a bunch of riding time. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Front headlock by Bono, and there you just see him starting to spin. Becks tries to turn the face to him to fend him off. Bono, too powerful, drives him down. Excellent technique. That is where most points are scored, is in countering. Guy takes a bad shot, you should make him pay with the counter.
The riding time virtually assured now for Bono. Time dwindling down in the second period.
This is where Bono just scored from a front headlock position. Let's see if he'll go right back to it.
After 15 ticks left in period 2.
Score 4-3. All of Becks' points are escapes. There's a shot by Becks, but you can see arms straight out, back flat, parallel to the mat, poor position. He hangs on, no points. But they'll need to do better than that in order to take down Chris Bono.
Go. Third period starts in the 150s. 4-3. Chris Bono, the 2 seed, over Charlie Becks, the 4 seed.
And if Becks cuts Bono loose, he's looking at a 2-point deficit. Riding time is not yet guaranteed, but he's got about 20 more seconds, and Bono will have riding time guaranteed. And then he's really got an uphill battle. Bono just doesn't get out of position. Keeps very good position with his hips and his upper body.
1:27 left in the third period. 5-3. Young man from Ohio State. Just a junior. 2-time All-American, Big 8 champ this year. Runner-up last year. He was 5th here last year. Trying to be the First Iowa State national champion in the 90s.
No way.
Bobby Douglas.
The head of Bobby Douglas, the back of the head of Bobby Douglas. He'll encourage his athlete, Chris Bono, giving him good advice. Russ Hellingston, the head coach of Ohio State, actually is not sitting in the corner. He's letting all of Becks' workout partners sit in the corner that he works with on a daily basis in scrimmage. And, of course, Russ is there to yell advice to these teams as well.
Minute 10 left.
It just seems that Charlie Becks cannot figure out how to get by Chris Bono's arms. When he does shoot, it's an extended shot. His arms are stretched way out in front of him. Not real good position.
I like what Bono said. He said, I'm a brawler. I'm just trying to rough up and get something to happen. And so far, that's worked so well, especially with those big arms. Still 5-3, 52 ticks left. And a huge advantage in riding time.
Well, that riding time is guaranteed now, so that score should read, well, you don't get the point till the end of the match, but strategy-wise as a wrestler, it's 6-3, you're up. He could survive getting taken down and still win.
Talked about the resurrection of the program by Bobby Douglas. They had 13 NCAA champs in the 80s, 14 in the 70s, 14 in the 60s, including two by Dan Gable. Now here in the 90s, Bono could be number one if he hangs on for 20 more seconds, and I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Well, Iowa State hasn't had a champion since '87, so for Chris Bono to come in like this is great. This is the start of the Bobby Douglas dynasty at Iowa State. And interestingly, Gable and Douglas used to compete in the late 60s, early 70s for the world team. After Gable got out of college, Douglas was the guy he was going to have to beat. And Douglas kept him off a team or two.
You don't think Gable's forgotten that, do you?
I think Douglas remembers it, and that's why he took that Iowa State coaching job to renew that rivalry.
Bono won't forget this. Champion at 150, a 5-3 decision over Charlie Becks. Victory number 36, and it's very sweet for the two-time All-American. And there's the hug for Bobby Douglas, the first champion in the 90s for Iowa State.
Great job. I was worried. There was that corner road there.
Coming up in just a little bit, the 158-pound class. The number 1 seed, Joe Williams, and the number 6 seed, a defending champion, a surprise last year. Can Ernest Benin do it again? And we look back at a legend, Dave Schultz.
We have another situation that many of us have had in our minds for many days. The wrestling community in the United States and around the world was deeply shocked and saddened by the death of world and Olympic champion Dave Schultz on January 26th. Wrestling lost a great champion and a true ambassador of goodwill. Dave loved wrestling, and he shared his enthusiasm for the sport with everybody. He touched the lives of thousands of people and had friends all over the world. Dave won a gold medal at the 1984 Olympic Games and the 1983 World Championship. He was an NCAA champion for the University of Oklahoma in 1983, and he was a 3-time All-American. Dave won every major title in the sport. He was also a great coach and teacher. Dave Schultz was the epitome of the Olympic spirit. You know, the original Olympics were athletic contests held at the funerals of heroes to decide who would inherit their property. As we head into the Olympics this year, let us remember that each and every one of us involved with wrestling.
Not only was the loss of Dave Schultz felt by the world of wrestling, but by everybody in the sports world, and I know he was a good friend of yours.
Oh, without a doubt. I've known Dave all the way back since 1977. Here's this little guy under 150 pounds giving me fits trying to take him down. He was a living legend. He's won 7 world or Olympic medals as high as 180.5 pounds. A real tribute, but the real losers here, too, are his family. Nancy, his wife, Danielle, and Alexander, their children. Our thoughts certainly here and all of the wrestling community go out to you, Nancy, family, and of course to David.
Joe Williams, the number 1 seed from Iowa. They're looking for their second individual national title. Up against Ernest Benin.
Open it up, gentlemen.
He's the defending champion. He won it last year as a 7th seed. He comes in this year as a 6th seed. He was 5th at the Big Ten this year, 3rd last year. He just somehow gets up for this championship.
There's no doubt about it. Last year, Steve Marionetti, who defeated Lincoln McElravy, the defending national champion. We thought that was a huge upset, but his workout partner, Benin, came out of nowhere and won it. This year, defending champion, he's seeded only 6th. He's got 7 losses, but he said, hey, you know, the season is about getting better and peaking, and certainly, for some reason, when you say NCAA tournament, Benin comes alive, and here he is in the finals again against the very tough Joe Williams.
He gives Marionetti a lot of credit for his success. Williams thought momentarily he had an advantage there.
Benin had an opportunity to score there, and both of them having those opportunities taken away by good counters. Williams is a straightforward wrestler. He's very good at shooting on the legs, and he's very strong upper body. If he gets his hands around the back of your knees and his back is straight and not parallel to the mat, he's going to pull you in. Benin needs to flick him.
Open up, gentlemen, go, open up.
Williams says 7th as a freshman here, then red-shirted. He's a 2-time All-American.
And Illinois has enjoyed a comeback of sorts. 2 champions last year, Benin in the finals here. Mark Johnson, the head coach, great wrestler.
Let's go, guys, let's go.
Michigan. In his day, lost losing to Campbell of Iowa. Seems Iowa always is around. And Jim Heffernan, his assistant coach. Joe Williams with that power. Just takes him down. Nice double. Benin doing a great job of avoiding back points.
Just to let you know, the first takedown has won all 5 of the matches tonight, and Dan Gable knows that's a good omen.
Get set, and you're facing out.
Well, Williams is a strong young man, only a sophomore.
Here's a nice replay. There you see the penetration step, the power, and of course the follow-through, driving Benin down. Benin doing a good job here, posting his arms, moving to keep from getting back points scored on him. Williams, that's his potential. He's very, very good at explosion. Now Benin with his own opportunity, both legs take down of his own.
Got it. 9-2-all. They met once before. It was 3 years ago, and Joe Williams was the winner.
It is
3-2. Excuse me.
Get your hands in front. Get your hands in front. Are you set? Cover, top man.
And we have ourselves a great match here. Trading takedowns all in the first period. Williams needs to get out now. Tactically, Williams wants out. And he gets it. Benin would have really helped himself to be able to ride him out, but he was unable to do so. 15 seconds remain. Let's see if we can't get a takedown. Williams is capable here. Both are very quick.
Riding advantage of 2 seconds for the Fighting Illini. They're going to ride this one out. First period is history here in Minneapolis for the 158s. And Ernest Benin.
Choice green.
And Williams time.
Green will take down. Green takes down.
Earlier, Benin was asked about being a low seed. Last year, 7, and he won the title this year, number 6. Why is he so good here in this tournament?
Well, if you're asking me in a tournament, I asked him today, and he goes, oh, it's nothing about the tournament, but I think it's, this is what people remember. You can go undefeated, and if you lose at the Nationals, people don't remember you.
So Williams has something in the eye. In the meantime, let's listen to what Benin said about being able to really turn it on when he has to here in the NCAA championship tournament.
This is my first injury time on red.
I really think that, especially at this level and even at the Olympic level, everybody's strong, quick, fast, knows the move. It's just who has the mental edge. to that match and, how you prepare for that. And I think that, part of, even the season, like you said, it didn't go like I'd like, but that's part of the mental preparation for something like this. Hey, I've had my wins, I've had my losses, I've learned from my mistakes, and now I'm trying to put it all together, so this is it. This is the tournament.
Very articulate, beautiful speaking voice, and sings the national anthem before Illinois sporting events.
And he leads 4-3. Both wrestlers have stall warnings, and it's important that you understand that. If either one now receives a warning, there will be penalty points handed out.
The view from Dan Gable's seat.
Come on! He's ready to gamble! Ready to get tough!
Action slowing here a little bit.
This period is fast.
Keep working, guys. Keep working.
I think this serves Williams' style a little bit more than Benion's. I think Benin would like to move a little bit. That's how he scored on Williams. Started some motion and then just exploded out of it.
Keep working. Keep working.
Williams with a 2-on-1 here. Let's see what he'll do with that arm. Let's go. You can hear the crowd now kind of saying they want some action here. Both are very conservative now.
No riding time for anybody. Time is ticking down in the second period. Still 4-3. Benin from Illinois over the top seed, Joe Williams from Iowa.
We might see a stall call here by the officials.
We're going to let this one ride out. 2 ticks, and that'll do it. So it remains 4-3 to start the third period. You think that this style, this pace favors Williams?
I think it favors him a little bit. I think Benin has some good motion. He showed that when he put Williams down. Create the opportunity. Don't wait for it to present itself. Seems Williams is waiting for Benin to shoot or to get a little bit out of position, and then he explodes. But he's more conservative than Benin is. He's going to wait. I think Benin with some good motion, moving the head, moving side to side instead of front and back. That's Williams doing the front and back.
It is stably entitled 4-4. Then he went for the takedown, but could not get to it. Again, riding time won't be a factor. It's in Benion's favor, but at this point, only 4 seconds. A minute 30 left in the third period. They were out of bounds, even though it looked as though at the end of that move, Williams' feet were in.
They had touched out of bounds previous. Here, Benin trying the shot, and Williams immediately shooting afterwards, and there with his foot out, and then he circles back, but once you're out, you can't come back in, out of bounds.
Williams again. This one, I don't think Benin's going to get out of it. It won't. 6-4.
Williams, the top seed from Iowa, with that takedown. Green, good set.
Joe Williams in that double. He is so tough. Boom. Back is parallel, but he's got the power to come up. Drive through Benin. Nice takedown.
Benin immediately gets out, so it's a 1-point advantage for Joe Williams. 6-5 the score with 55 seconds left.
And Williams again.
Well, that time, Benin had a gamble. He felt it slipping away, and a great job of taking advantage by Gable's young man, Joe Williams.
Right here, 45 seconds.
8-5.
Both takedowns have happened after Benin tried a shot and then tried to retreat. Williams just hooking the leg, and as Benin was retreating out, just drove him backwards so fast, broke his balance, dropped him. Great job here by Joe Williams. A couple of takedowns, third period, opening up a nice 2-point lead.
After the escape, 8-6, the takedown to tie it. 30 seconds left. Only 2 sophomores, Dwight Hinson from Iowa State and Joe Williams, that have advanced this far. That says something to get here into the national championships as a sophomore.
And it's Benin getting a takedown.
He got it!
45 seconds. 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 45 seconds.
That's going to tie it up. And we're going to have 14 seconds of fury here to end regulation time. Benin needs to ride him to put it into overtime. Williams needs an escape in 14 to win it outright.
Almost like a tiebreak in that 30-second rule. This time you got to hold and hold on for 10 seconds. Can he do it?
Did it. He did it. Williams escaped. Can Benin get a takedown? He won't. And boy, that was tight at the side of the mat. That was really, really close. Benin had both legs, but Williams was standing. And if you're standing, you're not taken down.
Williams escaped with 8 seconds. Benin could only hold on for 6 of the 14. And there it is. Joe Williams, the second of the Iowa wrestlers to win a national title tonight. Williams does it at 158 pounds, and he does it as a sophomore. Coming up, 167s. Mark Branch, the 2 seed from Oklahoma State, and Daryl Weber, another of the Iowa wrestlers. He's the 5th seed. Iowa's 1-2. Can they win a 3rd? Don't go anywhere. We find out right after this. A 21-year-old junior who is 32-2. Daryl Weber from Iowa is the 5th seed. He's a senior, 22 also, and he had the major upset of the tournament, getting Marcus Malika, the 2-time defending champion, bounced last night.
And can you imagine if Weber knocks off Branch, he's knocking off another national champion. You're looking at potential outstanding wrestling material here.
Branch's 3rd trip to the finals. He was 2nd last year. He was a winner as a freshman after being 13-9 in the regular season. Pretty amazing story in its own right.
And that tournament, every time he won, his confidence grew. He wrestled almost from one knee. Look how tall he is, 6'2". Lots of leg to shoot on. Even though Weber has him here, he's only got one leg. You need both in order to get a takedown on the knees, and they'll return to the standing position. Last year, he lost to Malika in the finals, and he's back again. 2-time finalist. Absolutely outstanding.
Ask him his style, he says, one word, attack. Branch says he's a little unorthodox because he's 6'2", he's tall, tries to use the height advantage to do step overs and use hip pressure.
With that much length, you can generate tremendous pressure in the sprawl when one of your opponents shoot on you. But the other counter to having all that length is you got big target for legs. And in that first tournament he wrestled in the Nationals, when he won it, he wrestled a lot from one knee just to close the amount of gap between his hips and the ground to keep people from shooting on him. And Weber, beautiful duck. He'll score first.
The first takedown to the kid from Iowa. The Hawkeyes looking for their 3rd national title here.
Turn around, we're facing this direction.
He's a senior. Weber's a senior.
Circle, stay right there. I'll tell you when to get on.
You know, that first takedown has been significant all night long.
Lucky charm.
Weber is from Gilbertville, Iowa, John Bosco High School.
Oh, the knee. Oh, the knee of Mark Branch might be in trouble there.
Clock now.
Immediately, the doctor came out and the referee said,
This doesn't look good.
yeah, it doesn't.
This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Branch tried to crawl around Weber's body to counter, and when he got driven down, it must have put the knee at a bad angle.
You could tell it looked bad as soon as it occurred.
Well, he let go of Weber. Yep. When you let go of your opponent, I mean, that's blinding pain that erases your rational side, and all you can do is react instinctively to the pain. Right, exactly. And he just let go, and the referees were right there to make sure that Weber did not continue to wrestle. Here you can see that's Branch's foot, the green sole sticking up, and there you can just see where he just lets go in pain. as he tried to crawl around Weber's body. Weber immediately let go. Yep, Fred Ambrose, the referee, immediately broke action.
Did a good job of not allowing Weber to continue.
I think Weber knew it too. You don't see it very often. There's tremendous respect between these athletes. In fact, during the consolations, quite a few of the athletes would go up and pat each other on the back, you know, thinking our dream was lost winning it. But here we are still trying to win.
Ranch, obviously in pain and realizing that his chance at the championship may be slipping away. We'll come back and see exactly what his story will be when we return to the NCAA Wrestling Championships in just a moment. In just a minute, the 177-pound championship, Les Gutches, who is amazing, and Andy Reese, the 39th champion for Dan Gable's team since he's been around over 20 years, is standing by with Jeff Blatnick.
Joe, I'll tell you what, 14 seconds left in the match. You got to get away to win. He's got to hold you down. What's running through your mind, and how did you think you were going to be able to do it?
I just had to, come up on a whistle and just keep coming up, and that's basically what I had to do, and it worked out pretty well for me.
Let me ask you, how close were you to being taken down at the buzzer going out of bounds?
Well, it's pretty close, but I still was on balance a little bit, so the referee didn't call it 2 points, so I just kept trying to, stay up and keep wrestling.
But you stayed on your feet, and that's what won it for you. If you had dropped to your hip, he had both legs, and he was in bounds from the knees down. Did the match go the way you wanted it? It seemed every time he tried anything offensive, you countered and launched a counter-offensive, did very well shooting after every time he took a shot.
Yeah, the match didn't quite go as well as I wanted it to. I wanted to just come out and dominate and, force my moves a lot more, but, that didn't work out. He came and he hit his moves, and I counted, and, it was a great match.
How important was that redshirt year for you? You sat out a year, you come back, national championship.
It was hard, just sitting back watching two guys be in the finals that I wrestled before. It was hard, but, I prepared, this year, and everything went right.
Well, Joe, congratulations. Great job out there.
Yep. Joe Williams, the champion at 158. Here's the defending champion at 177 from Oregon State, Les Gutches. How good is he? He's won 69 straight matches. He's only allowed one takedown the last 2 years. Reese Andy is the number 2 seed here. It's the only 1-2 that we've got in the entire tournament. And this senior from Wyoming is tough. He is 38-3 this year.
And Gutches is ahead 2-0. Beautiful duck under takedown. Great job against Andy there. And he was now riding Reese Andy. And this is a side of Gutches we don't see too often. Him wrestling on the mat for long periods of time. He's somebody that likes to take you down, and that's why he feels he's in the running for potentially winning a spot on the 96 Olympic team. Gutches behind and able to drop Andy right there. And that was his takedown.
And again, every time our wrestlers had the first takedown, he's become a national champ. Held up.
Out of bounds.
And Gutches takes him out of bounds. They'll start again in the center. Andy's got to get hand control. He's got to stop Gutches from being able to tie up his body and hold him down and start an upward movement with his back and his head and keep Gutches from holding on to his arms and pull him back down. Hand control being the essential key in mat wrestling, particularly in trying to get away.
Gutches has outscored his first 4 opponents here 67-20. Over the last 3 years, he's 101-2. 35 in a row this year.
And he's looking for back points. He's cranking hard. And it looks as though the referee was counting. I can't tell for sure.
4 points red, near fall, injury time green.
Oh. We have here a situation under what they call the scream rule. The referee put up 4 points. The reason why he did that is that he had met the criteria. In other words, he was on his back. He got the 5 count out, which meant he was going to get 3 points. But when you scream while you're on the back, the referee will appoint 4 for Gutches. He now leads 6-0. And it's a question now, how badly injured is Reese Andy? He's complaining about his back.
Yeah, he is.
And with that kind of torque, when you have the legs in and you're pulling that face over, there's a lot of pressure on the back. Gutches using the hold to its full leverage, applying that pressure. Reese Andy here, and you can see right there how the back is bowed. And here he'll continue to claw, pull Reese Andy towards his back. And it's in this situation right here now. I think Andy's actually feeling it.
Ready? You tell me when you're ready.
Criteria is met.
Cut it.
The referee was counting right there. And right here he breaks it, and you'll see him put 4 points up in the air there.
First back points, by the way, in
48.
7 matches tonight. Reese Andy, Gutty, going to keep going.
Reese Andy has really a special motivation. He dedicated this season to his father, who is suffering a bout with cancer.
Riding time for Gutches at 1:32, and it's already 6-0. Well, he's devastated everybody. Beat Kurt Sykes from North Carolina State first round 24-7. Devon Herman in the second round from Illinois was the closest at 8-3. Derek Scott from Cal Bakersfield 22-7, another match termination. And then in the semifinals, Eric Henry from Michigan State by 10, 13-3. He just dominates, gets ahead, and never lets up. He says, I'm a grinder. I don't need to adjust to my opponent. He better adjust to me or he'll lose. 69 in a row have lost, and he's up 6-0 after one here.
Have you had your break today? Legendary Stackhouse always had a quick first step. Man, I remember when he was just
Take a step with
That's
Daddy.
my
Take
man.
a step with Daddy.
Come back here, son. Come on, Jack. What a sit out there. His hips were about a foot off the ground, threw all his weight forward. Reese Andy unable to hang on, gets his escape, and now he's in the position he likes very much, and that's up on the feet. But I think we're going to start to see the intensity crank with Reese Andy because he has his back to the wall, trailing 7-0. For all practical purposes, with riding time, it's going to be 8-0 here shortly. He has got to open up here and start taking some big risks. That means upper body throws, whatever, if he expects to win. He's not going to be able to have the time to pick away with takedowns.
Reese Andy is the number 2 seed and 38-3 this year. It's just that he's up against
warning red,
Gutches,
one green.
who is probably the best in this tournament.
I believe they just called Gutches for stalling, even though he's winning 7-0. I think there's an expectation about Les Gutches now that he should be racking up point after point. But I think he's also taking a look at this as he's ahead comfortably. Why should he put himself at risk? And in a way, that's a smart move. And you just saw him glance at the clock there.
I got stolen red, still one
They
green.
did wrestle each other. This is the 5th time. The first time they met, Gutches actually got pinned by Andy, but since then it's been all Gutches.
Joe Wells, coach at Oregon State. Andy
Come on, guys, let's go.
Olympian.
Hooked up, you open up.
Excuse me, world team member. He's trying out for the Olympic team here in '96. Is one of Les Gutches' main workout partners.
Got a bounce, Nutre.
Clock stop with 12.
Come on, guys, finish strong. 12 seconds, let's go.
All Gutches.
And it's rather academic here. All Gutches has to do is keep his hands out in front of him and not lean or push. And he's going to have this in the bag. He'll repeat as the national champion here at 177 pounds.
70 in a row. Two-time defending champion now. Three-time All-American. But what fourth time? You know, he lost 2 in overtime his freshman year.
And just that one takedown scored on him in 2 years. Dominating. Certainly a candidate here for the outstanding wrestler.
Gets my vote. The 177-pound
performance there in the finals. The first time you ever wrestled, Reese, Andy, he pinned you.
Yeah.
And then you owned victories now 3 straight over him. 4 straight. Tell us now, how did the match go? You obviously came right out, took him down, and then you got him on the mat. What happened there?
Well, that's an area I think I've really improved on since I came to college. That leg Turk has actually started to become bread and butter for me. And I got it on him. I rode him for a while. I feel like maybe I wore him down on the mat a little bit. I snuck that leg in, and I took him over in it, and it worked out. It scored me some points.
Certainly did, yeah. You were up 6-0 at that point. You've only been taken down once in the last 2 years.
Reese just about made it 2.
Well, it doesn't matter just about. You have not been taken down but once. How do you attribute that? What is it about you that has been able to do that? What has driven you to do that?
Extreme luck.
Yeah, you're a very modest guy there, Lester. Nice takedown there. Kading of Oklahoma up on Duru of Bakersfield with that takedown. Nice double leg. And those are the kind of takedowns we grow accustomed from you. You got warned for stalling in the second period. How did that make you feel? What was your strategy? Explain that strategy you were doing.
Actually, it made me feel kind of bad because I deserved it. I couldn't help it. I got ahead 7-0 against a guy that is known to be dangerous. He threw me in a head and arm my sophomore year and, stopped me from being a national champ there. And I couldn't see any sense in really taking any unnecessary risks that might lead to him scoring, back points and tightening the matchup or pinning me.
Oh, without a doubt. If you're that big, why expose yourself to risk? You're going to be trying out for the Olympics?
Yep.
Well, we want to wish you the very best of luck, Les.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your team and a top 10 finish, and we'll be looking for you in Atlanta.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You take care.
Congratulations. Les Gutches 70 in a row, and here's another impressive wrestler, John Kading, the number 1 seed at 190, the junior from Oklahoma, 28-1 this year. His only loss was to Les Gutches, oddly enough. His opponent, the 3 seed Paschal Duru from Cal State Bakersfield, and the takedown by Kading could be a good omen. Every wrestler who's had the first takedown has won, and here's another good one. There were 5 top seeds in tonight's finals, Kading the 5th, and they're 4 for 4 thus far.
Let's also take a look at Duru's record, only 2 losses, one of them to Gutches, and the 3rd place finisher at 90. Tobin of Nebraska, one of his losses is to Gutches. So it's going to be something to see here, whether Les Gutches will be going up against Olympic defending champion Kevin Jackson, who also just won the World Championship here in 95. That's who Les Gutches now has in his sights.
Gutches Kading already a 3-time All-American.
Get in there, keep it in there, center it, guys,
See if Kading can't find that double leg that he scored with early here in these last 10 seconds of the first period.
Keep working it, keep working it.
Kading got that takedown. The number 1 seed leads by 1 over the number 3 seed. An escape and a takedown for John Kading. 4-1.
And young wrestlers, a beautiful example by John Kading right there. Don't be satisfied with getting an escape, stopping, adjusting your headgear, breathing deep, and then saying, okay, I'm ready to go again. Kading escaped, turned right around, double leg Duru right away. And I'll tell you, the best time to attack somebody is when they're frustrated thinking about what they just missed. In fact, he didn't get the escape because he didn't separate far enough. They gave him just a reversal. So the score is only 4-1, not 5-1. 4-1. That was reversal, they called it.
But I like your point about when to attack. There's a moment of frustration, of disappointment, that you may not be concentrating at the level you need to. Boom, there you go.
Oh, that's when most people get put on their back, is right at the takedown, because they're thinking of how they got taken down instead of what to react to as they're being taken down.
Go, you're out of bounds. Green down.
Kading trying to pick up his first national championship. He was 5th as a sophomore. He wrestled then at 190. He was 6th as a freshman in heavy. He's the only Oklahoma wrestler, and there's some tradition there, to win an All-American title in 2 different weight classes.
Kading is certainly capable. Bob Triano, the referee on the mat, and a guy named Chuck Yeagler. Yeagler, an Iowa Hawkeye wrestler in his day, also a national champion.
Get in there, watch the lock.
You got to stay involved in the sport you love.
I'll tell you, he had a move called the seatbelt. You didn't want that on you when he was wrestling it.
I love the way the wrestlers take care of each other with the procession they have before the national championships, and the way folks like you and all of your cronies come out to support the up-and-comers.
Keep going.
Well, it's probably the oldest sport in the world, arguably. And some people like to think running is the world's oldest sport, but hey, if you didn't wrestle, you ran. So we obviously say that wrestling is the oldest and running the second oldest.
There was a controversy this week regarding changing of rules, I should say, this year. No longer the sun. I know you call it weight management.
Well, everybody, weight cutting, you can say anything you want, but what the NCAA has done is taken a hard look at how some of these wrestlers weight cut, and they want to highly discourage the excessive water loss, the dehydration. And that can affect wrestlers' kidneys and such later on in life, do damage to them while they're cutting this weight. And so they will, in the site where the competition is being held, there are no saunas, no steam rooms, and they highly discourage the wearing of rubber suits or plastic suits, and even bikes being near the mat or something where wrestlers can ride them for the explicit use of weight cutting. And I'm a heavyweight, and some people will laugh at me if I talk about weight cutting, but the one thing is that I always thought of, if you're so worried about making weight the day before, you're not thinking about your wrestling, and that has to be a distraction. I've seen plenty of wrestlers, including Les Gutches, who are able to beat people who are even bigger than them.
John Kading up and had a dream as a child to be the very best in this nation.
Ever since I started the sport, I dreamed of being a national champion, and the dream's getting closer and closer, and all I gotta do is reach out and grab it, and hopefully I'll get it tonight.
He's up 4-2, a minute 9 in riding time, so that could be 5-2, although it could change. There's a minute 44 left to go.
Now he's reaching out and touching Paschal Duru. It's 4-2. That escape now will make it 4-3. But it's been Kading who's been the better on the feet so far, having the only takedown. A beautiful double leg. And he's looking to potentially do that again.
Let's go.
T.J. Kerr, the coach at Cal State Bakersfield, giving Paschal Duru some advice. Jack Spates and Mark Manning, the coaches at the University of Oklahoma. Duru just can't get close enough to Kading to get off a good shot. He's reaching, he's off balance. Here he's leaning tremendously. He really won't be able to get a shot off from here.
Open it up.
That's Kading with the lower stance. That's opportunity. Is that double? Beautiful shot.
He said his best move, the double leg. You called it. Down went Duru. 6-3, and Kading looks like now he can just hold on and walk away. He's got a minute 26 in riding time as well.
Well, it's not quite locked yet, but certainly good. Here you see how he just went under Duru there. Beautiful position. Duru caught flat-footed, lifted him, dropped him to his backside. Beautiful takedown. That might be what put this match out of reach for Paschal Duru. 6 more seconds and he'll have riding time locked. Beautiful return to the mat there. You see him release him as Duru tried that Granby roll and then just picked him right back up after the roll finished. Smart wrestling by Kading.
Now he's got the lock on the riding time. It's all over in that regard.
All the fingers out. Keep it legal. Everything legal. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Just doesn't seem that he has a lot of energy left here. He hasn't ever been able to get on track with his offense.
Work it, guys. Work it.
Two beautiful double legs really is the difference in this match.
Kading was 5th as a sophomore, 6th as a freshman, 3-time All-American, about to win as a junior his first national championship at the 190s.
Set.
Jack Spates will help Oklahoma, which has suffered through the last few years with below expectation kind of performances, what people grew accustomed to from the University of Oklahoma, and he is bringing this program right back. Great attendance at their dual meets now, and of course a national champion as a centerpiece for the next year's team.
Top.
Two seconds left in this one. And there he is, John Kading. His first national title. The junior from Oklahoma will be back for more. He ends up the year 29-1. Folks, don't go anywhere. Dessert coming your way. The heavyweights are next. Justin Harty from North Carolina and Jeff Walter from Wisconsin. It's a Big Ten affair right after this. That, Dan.
Obviously, anytime you can add your total, it makes it better. But at the same time, you know, there's some things that happen during the tournament that some of my kids are really down. But there's so many good things that do happen and outweigh the ones that are down.
You lost 2 in a row yesterday. You talked to Zadick. Suddenly, he comes back and wins. What'd you say to him? What inspired him?
Well, you know, we were upset at 18 with Thomas and Mena. I think we had beaten him 6 times. And that really hurt. And then Ironside's match was sudden death, and that was just nip and tuck, and we lost that one. And McGinnis just had been eliminated in the corner in the wrestlebacks, so we really lost 3 in a row. So Zadick, I knew I wanted to find out if it was going to affect him, and so I just said, Billy, how you feel? He says, I feel great, and I'm ready. I says, don't let this affect you. He said, it will not affect me.
Here are the heavyweights, Justin Harty from North Carolina, the 5th seed, Jeff Walter, the 6th seed from Wisconsin.
Dan, big news came out of Iowa, the university, when it was rumored and that you might be retiring next year. Can you talk a little bit about that subject with us?
Well, I'm hoping I don't have to retire, but, I'm thinking about possibly changing positions or not becoming get out of the coaching area for the university. If there's another position that's maybe a part-time or something like that, that's what I'd be interested in. It's just that I've been coaching a long time, but more than that, I wrestled for a long time. And I don't mean just competitively, but just active as an athlete. And there's some experiences that I need to experience before I get too crippled up from the old wrestling injuries.
Is that family, Dan?
That would be, I'm lucky enough. The only way I've been able to be successful at my profession is because the family's really involved. They're here, they're always where I'm at. But at the same time, there's been a lot of things that I have missed and that I hope that I can not really make up for, but just experience them.
Well, Dan, you did it as an athlete in high school, college, and internationally, world and Olympic champion. You did it as a coach. Certainly the most dominant program in the last 20 years. You're steering the right course. You're going to have Williams back next year, centerpiece, Lincoln McElravy returning. How do the Hawkeyes stack up for you next year?
We're hoping to have the best situation of all time, and every year we look for that. Every year we look for the improvements.
Well, Dan, we're going to wish you the very best of luck. Congratulations on another victory, and we'll be looking for you next year with your team.
Appreciate that. Looks like it's getting a little rough here.
Yeah,
it's the heavyweights.
Double penalty point there for a ball, just about.
And they got a little bit physical. Justin Harty really wants to get physical with his opponents, and he chopped Walter on the head. Walter returned the favor. And those are nothing but open-handed cuffs. Neither wrestler looking at the other sneering. It's sort of a, hey, I am not going to back down type of attitude. And that one there by Harty was still somewhat of an open cuff, but none of those are for striking reasons. They're trying to pull on the heads.
Harty, the attempt there at the takedown. He knocked off the number 1 seed, Tally Thompson. That was a major upset. Either that or Malika falling are the 2 biggest upsets that we've seen in this tournament.
Well, Mike Mena, too, there at 118 pounds. But you're right, for Justin Harty to come out and take apart Tally Thompson like he did in the end. And really, it seemed as though they got really physical, somewhat similar to what you're seeing here. And Tally Thompson got hurt. Got a cut, and it just seemed to change him. He lost his concentration, and Harty took him down, and those turned out to be the winning points.
Harty also took down the number 4 seed, Nicole. Billy Pierce, the hometown hero from Minneapolis, was a loser to Walter, and that's the number 2 seed. He also knocked off the number 3 seed, Tony Vaughn. So both Walter and Harty are surprises to be here at 5 and at 6. Both very bright, all academic, both of them. In fact, Walter has a 3.75 GPA, and we are tied at 1 and 1. That's the end of the first. We're back with the second in just a moment. Sullivan Award. This honor goes to the top amateur athlete in the country. Here's Dan Jansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, winner of the 1995 AAU James E. Sullivan Memorial Award, it's Mr. Bruce Baumgartner. You know, I've won a lot of wrestling awards and different Olympic championships. And that's all done on your own ability and your work. And it really doesn't matter what other people perceive or how they perceive you while you're doing this. This award is special because it lets me know, and I guess the world know, what the other people in amateur sports, the AAU organization, the people that have voted on this award. It's really humbling that they feel that I deserve such a great award with 9 other great finalists to contend against. Again, I'd like to thank you folks for sharing this evening with me, and it's unbelievable. Thank you very much. It's fantastic to be here.
Baumgartner has had a major impact on not just wrestling, but again, the entire sports world.
Oh, without a doubt. I remember when Bruce first tried out for an Olympic team in 1980. He didn't make it. I remember when he beat his first Soviet, Andiev, in Atlantic City, and he actually turned to me and looked at me and he said, did I really deserve to win that? And I'm looking at him going, what do you mean? You deserve everything you can get. And from that moment on, 12 years now to the day, he has not lost to an American wrestler. He has won 12 world and Olympic medals, including gold medals in 84 and 92, and most recently the 95 World Championships, which will be setting him up as the favorite in Atlanta. But he has to make the team first. People forget there's a process to making the team. Everyone has to go through it, and that's what's on Bruce's mind right now. But without a doubt, Baumgartner deserved to be recognized. He has been doing this for a long time, a 6-time finalist. It's about time it's about time he got what he deserved.
You say he hasn't lost in America, so you assume he'll make the team, but he does. Can he win the gold in Atlanta?
Oh, without a doubt he can win the gold in Atlanta. Bruce needs to be healthy, and he needs to be on. He can't be overtrained. He's 36 years old. Obviously, you know, age does have its disadvantages. Boy, that was a headbutt.
You, by the way, going to help train him?
My body no longer is able to compete hard with this Baumgartner, but anytime he likes to work out, he's a very good friend, and I would love to do it.
That's another penalty point that ties this thing at 2-all.
And Baumgartner wins with technique, and here Harty drives the top of his head into Walter's face, an obvious headbutt. He's penalized for that. The score is now 2-2.
These two can only hope to follow in the footsteps of the great Baumgartner.
Well, Harty actually trained with him at his camp this past summer.
We see time ticking down in the second period, and again, it's 2-2.
Go, guys.
2 penalty points assessed against Harty and 1 against Walter.
No takedown yet. Harty doing his best to try and counter the shot of Walter. Walter here is going to peel the legs apart, turn the face.
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Go!
Stalemate.
Here we go, guys.
Couple of big guys wrapped up. Neither could improve. They start over on the feet. Just 11 seconds now.
Harty 34-2, Walter 34-9. They are 1-1 against each other. Harty beat him as a freshman, but he lost to him this year.
Break.
And that'll do the second period as close as you can get. Tied 2-2. Harty looks like a heavyweight. He looks like a wrestling heavyweight, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. That headbutt and the penalty point assessed with that could come back to haunt Justin Harty, because if Walter escapes here, he's in the lead. And if everything stays even, he can win.
Warning, green.
And a warning against Justin Harty. He did not bring Walter down to the mat. Instead, he tried to push him out of bounds. You have to wrestle. You have to work actively for a pin. And if you're just trying to ride and hang on, it's going to cost you. So he's been warned for stalling. That again is a negative for Harty. Let's see how he responds.
I know you've talked about just letting go, taking the penalty point, and then trying to do the takedown.
Well, it's much easier to let go and try to work for the takedown than all of a sudden be warned for stalling and be forced into the situation with another point against you.
Still 2-2, a minute 46 to go in regulation in the third period here.
Harty is going to continue to ride him here. See what happens.
Got away. There's the lead for the Wisconsin Badger.
And now it seems as though Jeff Walter now can be a little bit more choosy in when to become aggressive, when to go after Harty and try to take him down. He could actually let Harty come at him and wait for him to be a little over-aggressive and take advantage of all that extra energy and momentum.
Center, guys. Here we go.
Harty finished 8th the last 2 years. Walter was 4th. He's a 2-time All-American.
Both of these guys are on the academic All-American team.
Yeah.
Smart heavyweights.
Harty's a double major of psych and communication.
Harty's head is continually down as well. His forehead is always in the chin or the chest of Walter.
Here we go, man.
Bill Lamb, University of North Carolina. One of his assistants, 3-time national champion, T.J. Jaworski.
You gotta go now, Justin!
Lamb hoping to have another national champion this year. And Harty pretty much has his back against the wall. He's going to have to open up here.
Got to take a chance, don't you?
So he is trying to set him up, but if it gets below 20 seconds, it's do or die. He's in a desperation mode. And we are closing in on that mark very quickly here.
Trying to get the one leg, could not.
20 seconds. All Walter has to do is just hold this underhook, and that's going to keep Harty from being able to do anything. And there Harty again with the head down, coming into Walter, and Walter moving into Harty to close the distance. 9 seconds. Can Walter hang on?
The 5th-year senior from Wisconsin wins it. And as close as you can get, 3